So, Parvati. This character I have a lot of fond memories of, but she is definitely a relic of the past. Uh, there's just so much stuff that has progressed to the point that Parvati A isn't nearly as good as she used to be, just by comparison. B, she did have a lot of stuff hindering her, like from her own kit. Mostly looking at this attack here, this holds back her damage so much to the point that you probably should be grailing her to level 90, if not 100, if you don't want to suffer a lot of inconsistencies that low attack with quick specifically is going to have. Refund is heavily dependent on getting overkill. If your attack is low, it's harder for you to get overkill. If you're not getting enough overkill, you don't get enough refund. And refund is the name of the game, especially for quick. Way more than arts, quick needs to be killing extremely early in the hit count of their MP. Otherwise, their refund, which is already lower than arts, gets even worse. So yeah, just gonna run this down. Real quick, something to note: Parvati, her damage is actually here, around 16 something, or hovering around 16 and 14. The reason she shows up here, where are you here? Above MP, sorry, above Melusin is because she's using her second skill, which is a massive 50% attack buff. Like, and again, half of 16 is 8. 16 plus 8 is 24. Now, doesn't that line up pretty well? So, let's really get started talking about this. I already mentioned this up here. MP charge 1.08. Again, part of the reason she looped so well, even though like overkill was going to be a problem, is her gains are really, really stupid. You gave a character that had really high gains, and you gave her MP gen as well. This is something else that has been a staple in quick servants, like pretty much since year 6. It's been 30 card buff, 30 MP gain, and 30 battery. And if they don't have the MP gain, they're usually getting a 50 battery. It's been showing up more recently that that's going to be the trade off for arts, but I mean quick. But they have released like 3 quick servants with 50 batteries in the last year. Quick did not get 50 batteries, so on it, like I'm not going to be complaining. If they want to make changes, change up the game. Don't make characters that come out in year 10 look the same as characters that came out in year 5. Okay, I know people are against power creep, but at the end of the day, you're playing this game for 5 years. Why do you want to keep getting characters that are the same things you've been getting for years? Just me personally, I'd rather get new stuff than palette swap old stuff when they could just buff old stuff instead. All right, so first skill, again, 30% card buff, 30% MP gen. This this is her bread and butter. Honestly, this was her bread and butter. If this skill was worse, yeah, if this skill was worse, Parvati would have like definitely fallen behind even more. But you pair this with really high base numbers, and you get like magic. Out of any of the quick servants that are loopers, Parvati is the one that if you give her MP gain, like she's not gonna have problems. Second skill, her big mana burst. 50% attack, 50% defense, 100% star gen, and 100% debuff res. This is all on a 1 turn cooldown though. And because this is on a 5 turn, don't expect them to buff this for all of these to be 3 turn. I don't see that happening anytime soon. And finally, the buff skill. And look at what this is before. You can only do this if you have 10 gauge and you got a 20 battery. So if you chose Parvati for this, you would still need to have 10% to use this, and you would only get 10% more than what you started with. Like, it makes sense. You don't make something out of nothing in an equivalent exchange kind of sense, but we're talking about servants, not actual science or anything. Yeah, no, this fucked you over so hard, and you basically had to start from with a K scope, or you were already popping like again you were already popping batteries, um, from your supports before you even got started. Uh, I'm gonna be honest, like best use case wasn't even to use Oberon. I think it was use Neurobride and start from 50, and then you shouldn't have had any problems after that. Um, but yeah, no, we are in year 10 now. You need to modern up, and also I just want to say the first servants. No. Actually, I'm gonna save this until after I get through Parvati because I'm gonna bring this up. Like, notice which characters are getting buffed. I'm just saying. So, 30% battery, heal, and MP damage 20% for 3 turns, and this is whoever you target with it. So now Parvati, even if she's not going to be the DPS, she can either be a sub DPS, plug suit support, when you're doing like lower cost or some shit, or just trying to bomb farm and use characters just to use them. I kind of do that with like Shufu, Paracelsus. I tend to use them over Castoria, so I can charge more in the back line. And now Bond 15 gives an actual reason to do that. So it's even easier to just charge people up. But yeah, this buff makes it so she's able to start to actually do black rail looping. And again, let's just kind of show like what black rail does. And again, this is MP1. I'm not showing off like MB2 or what the base is for this. And then just pen 2. So yeah, bop, bop. Start from 50. Any Scotty brings the battery, and then MP damage. What does it look like? Yeah, 28. Now again, that doesn't seem like that much of a difference. You think, oh, black rail, super black rail on a character like this, oh, the damage should be way higher. I mean, this is the character without buffs and without this attack buff here. So let's see with the attack buff. And it shoots up a lot. So what Parvati lacks on ironically inconsistency for damage makes up for extremely spiky damage pumps. Pair that with just like other supports, and she's gonna be doing better. Now, something also to note: she is double buster, double quick. So in her farming, you're not even gonna notice you not having this that much because Ruler Scotty is going to give her 30% attack. So the damage spike from this is not going to be as impactful in this simulated, just because here Parvati doesn't have an attack buff. In normal farming, she will. So just keep that in mind. Yes, you're supposed to save this, but don't think your damage is so gimped if you're not saving this. If you need to pop this in wave 2, pop it. Because it's better to keep the run going at 3 turns but on wave 3 than hit wave 3 and it's turn 4. Right? You can do a command seal, you can do whatever on turn 3. If it's turn 3, none of your buffs have gone away yet. But the second, if you take too long in turn 2 and you go into turn 3 without having any buffs, you're kind of shit out of luck until you get buffs or you can kill them fast enough. Most people can't kill them without buffs, which is why people try to 3-turn farm. Passives, magic resist plus goddess essence, so 42.5% debuff res. This is an absolute requirement. It's this MP1 example isn't even that good because MP1 Parvati you wouldn't be using for farming. Frankly speaking, you shouldn't be using Parvati for farming unless you're MP3 and you have a pen 2 like maxed out. There are so much stronger farmers right now that Parvati is. She needs the MP buff. But the thing is, like, even me saying she needs the MP buff, you have like Valkyrie who hasn't gotten a buff, and like she needs the MP buff too. Um, Yeah, like Ares needs the buff. Um, yeah, like Ares, Valkyrie, and Parvati still need like MP buffs because their MP damage is still like way too low. Like they're too comparable to 3 stars. Yeah, like it really is just the damage is too close. Like and Romulus can peak. Yeah, no, Romulus, if you get Imperial privilege, peaks out Parvati, and his are 3 turn attack buffs. Um, yeah. Moving on. MP 4 hit quick AOE, 60% charge for 1 turn, and 10% battery on the back end. And this scales with overcharge. So I could really see them buffing Parvati's MP and making this 100% chance. I can see it happening. They took Kama, or if not 60, they make it 80. I feel if they're gonna buff them the MP, they're gonna distinguish her from Valkyries and also like make her. She already has the charm. Just play it up a little bit. MP damage is MP damage. Um, so take this. Um, her base number would be like 22. Yeah, because 3 over. Uh, yeah, yeah, it would be like 22. As the base number, which it puts her in line with all these other 4 stars that got MP buffs. Yeah, like Neza, um, Ellie, Finn. I I think no, Jolter Lily got a skill buff, but she's also welfare. But yeah, no, Parvati needs an MP buff. It's just they have been very slow on it. So I do not expect this to happen for another year or two. Bond CE, quick up for the party, MP gain up for the party. Again, good bottom CE synergizes well with her. But this is definitely a supportive Bond CE, which, to be fair, this buff does make her a little more supportive, but she like I would not like okay, so for new tier list, I would not list her as a support at all. She would be a self buffer with um, some support capabilities, but she would be left listed as a self buffer. Even the charm, I would not count this as a debuff because it's not consistent enough to proc. So TLDR, I'm happy about this buff, but something everyone should just notice what characters are getting buffed. Oh, is this not linking me right to it? God damn it. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so something I just want to note. What characters is it that are getting buffed? Shiro Emiya, Caster, Rin Tosaka, Archer from Fate Extra, Sakura Mato. All 5 of these are veteran characters, and Asterios is a veteran character for specifically FGO. Um, I think this is Kojiro. Right here, I think this. So my future predictions are all based on like what these characters like their connection honestly to Fates tonight. I think this is Kojiro. I think this is Cursed Arm. I think this is Shakespeare. Um, Darius, based on the animation updates. 4 star, I think this is Carmilla because Medea, the voice actress. 5 star, I think it's King Hassan because of all the Hassan buffs. If this is Cursed Arm, I can see them doing King Hassan. And then the 2 5-star casters. Honestly, one might be Waver. I think one is going to be Waver. If we're seeing all these Stay Night characters or all the characters related to Fate over the past 10 years, I can see Waver finally getting another buff. Last caster, I'm hoping it's Scotty. I'm really hoping it's Scotty. But yeah, that's just the little addendum I wanted to add on to Parvati's video specifically because they're showing the pattern. Like before, like this connection is extra, and this connection is Faith Stay Night. Um, I want to say the connection is the Snecks. Like he has Uriel and she has Medusa. That's the linking I see for these two, but that's a stretch. So thanks for listening to the rest of this ramble. I'm about to go record his video now. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.